guys, what is up? I got Belle here. She is an adult 2,000 gram ball python, and she is one of our breeders. She's a beautiful, beautiful super lesser. So she is a blue-eyed leucistic. With the way things have gone coming out of the first season of breeding, having a few young breeder females, I have decided not to breed them this year coming up. So I have contemplated potentially getting another breeder ready female, and it's been something I go back and forth on. So I was gonna go through the pros and cons of it here. So when we first decided to breed, I got antsy, I'm sure like most do, and I had a bunch of females that I wanted. I knew I wanted to do clown, I knew I wanted to do sunset, work with desert ghost, and potentially mix all those things. So, I mean, the first two females I bought were Coco and Izzy. They were close to breeder ready. They were the age, they were close to breeder weight. They had some trouble eating for the previous owner. And they were 66% het pied, and I had Bruno, so I knew I could make piebalds. And I wanted to start there and just make some piebalds my first season or two and learn. Looked like Coco wasn't going to be ready, which she wasn't. And Izzy was going to be questionable whether she was ready. So then we bought Millie, who was another het pied female. And she was of size, she is a proven breeder, and she's the one who laid those eggs shortly after we got her. She has been great. She's laid 2 clutches for us now. Clutch last year that she came with already gravid, and then another clutch this year with she put out 5 eggs, 3 were piebald. One egg didn't make it, and then one hatchling didn't ever make it out of the egg. So we only ended up with 3 babies out of that clutch. But she's been a good breeder. She's already back on food. She's going to be ready to go next year. Belle here we got after that. She was a super lesser breeder ready female. She has been by far the best adult ball python I've ever purchased as I guess you'd say a second or third owner potentially. And then we got Buttercup, who's been pretty much she ate like 1 meal and then she was ready to go. We got her very late in the breeding season, so we wanted to pair her and potentially make that het sunset clutch. So she's been, I'd say we haven't had a good chance to get to know her. Now, if you're gonna buy your first ball python, there's nothing like holding a big ball python or a big bodied snake like Belle. Like it's just cool. It's fun. It feels cool. The power they have, the strength they have. I'm sure that's what it's like to hold the Burmese or reticulated. I mean, not what it's like, but as close as you're going to get with a ball python. But I prefer the bigger snakes, bigger ball pythons. I love ball pythons. I've never had a retic. I've never owned a Burmese. These adult female ball pythons are just awesome, and Belle has such a great temperament that it makes it even that much better. Outside of Belle, when it comes to being a ball python pet owner, I don't know if I'd recommend adults. They come with potential baggage. You don't know how they were treated. I mean, we're not even going to consider, bringing in potential parasites or sickness into your reptile room or into your other animals. If you have other animals, it's great if you get Belle. If you get somebody like Belle, she's fun to handle, she's docile, the kids love her. There's just, like I said, it's just a lot of fun to hold a big body snake. And this is as big as it gets when it comes to a ball python. So the cons, we've gone through the pros. The cons being they will potentially come with baggage, and the experience I've had is typically if a breeder is getting rid of an adult female. I mean, there's the cases where, you know, they're just done getting out of the breeding game or getting out of the hobby completely, and typically those turn out okay for pets. And it's nothing you can't work through, I don't think, but I've seen a lot of where I wouldn't say they're bad snakes, they're not mean, they're just not Bell. They're not what I'd expect out of a pet. If I have a pet ball python, I want to take it out pretty frequently, let it hang out with me, watch a movie, and do all that. Most of the breeder females you're going to get that are that age have spent most of their life in a tub, not having any potential stimulation other than, you know, feedings and breeding. So they're not used to it. So I find them to be very head shy. They want to hide a lot. I've had more trouble when I've gotten them as adults getting onto food, and it's just, I think there's something about them being set in their ways. I try to avoid that here, so we pretty much frequently take these guys out, let them roam around, try to give them stimulation. You saw the 3D printer in the intro. I've been trying to print some stuff for them to use as stimulation in their tubs. We try to give them all hides. If you're deciding you want to breed, it's a different criteria. If you're anxious to get going like we were, yeah, you can't do what you want with a baby ball python, right? Millie's been great. Millie is not a pet snake, I would say. She's more head shy, she's more reserved, she wants to hide. She eats frozen thawed, but she wants nothing to do with any interaction for the most part. She wants me to drop that meal down in her cage and close the bin and walk away, and then she'll eat it. And I've had that experience with a few. Coco, when we got her, she would only eat a live mouse. And she took a very long time to get going on food. For a while there, I was feeding her fuzzy mice. She was like an 900 gram female ball python eating fuzzy mice. So I'd try to feed her a couple fuzzy mice every other day or so. And then eventually I got her on soft furs, and she's been good since. But it was a long road. It was a lot of work. You've got a ball python or an animal and it's not eating. It can be stressful. It depends on how much time you have to put into it. I'm not going to say these breeder ready females haven't produced or done what we got them to do. They have, but it's been a lot more work than if you bought a baby ball python and raised it up yourself and got it going on food early, and it's just easier. I don't know other way to say it. So for size difference, obviously, for these guys, they're going to need a much bigger enclosure. If I had Belle is primarily a pet, man, I'd love to display her in a 4x2x2, and they can be expensive. If you have a 4x2x2, I don't recommend you put a baby ball python in that. They're going to feel exposed. They're not going to probably eat that well for you. For comparison, here is a normal-sized baby. So you're talking a 10-gallon tank and increasing size, which may mean buying another enclosure later on, more supplies, bigger hides. If you buy a baby, if you are going to get a ball python as a pet and you want a big one, you want a big snake, an adult female ball python, it's cool, man. It's really cool to hold them. You can see her just kind of chill here. She's just very curious, inquisitive, roams around. But babies are cool too, because you get to, I guess, shape their personality. They get to know you, you get to know them. It's just a different relationship. To kind of show you the difference, I'll grab Millie. So this is Millie. She's done great for us. She's laid 2 clutches. I mean, she's not mean. She's not aggressive, but I mean, you can see that she's head shy. She's more reserved than Belle. She's tongue flicking, and this is way better than she was when we got her because she's a little more used to us. It's been probably about 18 months we've owned her now, but she's a good snake. She's just, you can feel it. She's more tense when you hold her. Just different than Belle. She's still curious, but I mean, if I put my hand near her head, she's backing up. Belle would crawl right over and keep going. You can just see it in me holding her. She's just more tense, more reserved. You can tell she's not as comfortable with this. So I'm gonna put her back because I don't think she wants to be out. We hold her, but we just keep it shorter than we would with Belle. So here's Beatrice, and she is by no means an adult. She's probably about 800 gram female. We got her from Canova, and we got her as a baby. She has been great. She loves being handled. She loves coming out. Look at the short I posted this week. I don't know many ball pythons that if I'm holding them and I'm holding a frozen thawed rat, that they would eat it out of my hand. She did that. Beatrice is a great snake. She is a snake that we got as a baby from a very well respected breeder. Canova, the most respected, I'd probably say. So that plays a factor into it too, is if you are going to buy an adult female or an adult male for that matter, an animal that has been with somebody else, I would recommend making sure you go with a reputable breeder. Another example is Cindy. She's about 1,100, 1,200 grams, and we got her when she was probably 600 or 700, but she is comfortable with us. She's comfortable being held. The kids hold her all the time. I mean, look at that. She'll come right up to my face to face here. She trusts that I'm not going to hurt her. She's not head shy. Bottom line, if you're deciding to buy a baby or an adult, which one you should choose. And of course, it's a non-answer answer, but it depends on your situation. So make sure you evaluate before you go ahead and make that purchase. Leave a note down in the comments below on whether you want to see that gecko build. And then let me know in the comments below your experiences on what you think is better, an adult ball python or a baby. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Bye.